In the last lecture, we had a high-level overview of what is a document and how a document stores data. Now remember that a document is stored inside a collection. So in this lecture, we are going to learn what is a collection and how we can create a collection and how we can store documents inside that collection and also how we can drop a collection. Now, a collection is like a table which can store related data. But instead of storing data in the form of rows and columns like we have in relational database, a collection stores JSON-like objects, which is referred to as documents. So we have already talked about documents in great detail in our previous lecture. So in simple words, we can say that a collection is a collection of related documents. So in this lecture, we are going to learn how we can create a collection implicitly, how we can create a collection explicitly. We are also going to learn how we can delete an existing collection and how we can query documents from a collection. So let's switch to Mongo shell. And there, if you remember, we had deleted this book.my.state database. We dropped this database in one of the previous lectures. So here what I'm going to do is first I'm going to clear the shell and I'm going to create a database. For that, I can say use and then I can specify a database name. Currently, I'm in the admin database. So I'll say use and I'm going to specify the database name as book.my.stay, which is my project name. Okay, there should not be any space. It should be book.my.stay. Let me press enter. So now MongoDB has temporarily created this database. And in this database, since we do not have any collection, this database is not permanently created. Now, in order to make this database permanent, inside this database, we need to create at least one collection. Now, to create a collection, we have two ways. Either we can create a collection implicitly. So when we say we can create a collection implicitly, that means we can directly go ahead and we can try to insert a document in a collection which does not exist. For example, here if I type show collections command and if I press enter, okay, it should be show collections, and if I press enter, you see it has not returned us anything. That means currently in this database, we do not have any collection. So here if I say db dot and let's say I'm trying to access the hotels collection, you see this hotels collection does not exist in this book.my.stay database. But if I try to insert a document in this collection, for that I'm using this insertOne method. In that case, what this insertOne method will do is, since this collection does not exist in the current database, this insertOne method will first create that collection. And in that collection, it will insert a document. So this is implicit way of creating a collection in a database. Here, using the insertOne method, we are directly trying to insert a document in a collection which does not exist. And since it does not exist, this insertOne method, it will create that collection first and then it will insert the document in that collection. So to this insertOne method, I'm passing a document. In that document, I want to have a name property. Let's say the name of the hotel is Seashore Resort, something like that. Let's specify the price. So it's maybe 4,000 per night. Let's specify city. City is going to be Goa. Okay. And let me also specify one more feature, which is featured. And here I'm going to set it to false. So this hotel is not featured hotel. Okay, so here I'm assigning a Boolean value to this field. Here I'm assigning a string value. Here I'm assigning a numeric value. And one thing which you would have noticed here is here I'm not passing a JSON object. Here I'm passing a JavaScript object. And you can also do that. So when we are passing a JavaScript object here, the insertOne method is first going to convert it to BSON type and then it is going to insert it in this hotels collection. So here we can either pass a JavaScript object or a JSON object, but internally it will be stored as a BSON data, as a BSON object. So if I go ahead and if I press enter, remember that previously when we run this show collections command, it did not return us any collection. But now let me go ahead and let me try to insert a document in this collection, which currently does not exist. If I go ahead and if I press enter, we have received the acknowledgement. Now, if I go ahead and if I run show collections command, and if I press enter, you see that hotels collection has been created. So here we have created a collection implicitly. Now we also have a method to create a collection explicitly. So for that, on the DB object, we can call a method create collection. And to this create collection method, we need to specify one mandatory argument, which is the name of the collection. So here, let's say I want to create a users collection. So in this way, I can go ahead and I can press enter, and it is going to create that collection. And here, if I go ahead and if I say show collections, and if I press enter, now you will see that now we have two collections in this book my stay database. And also, let me say show DBs. And if I press enter, you will see that this book my stay database is listed in this database list, because now in this book my stay database, we have two collections. So this database is now permanently created. All right, let me clear the shell here. Now, when we create a collection using this create collection method, there along with the collection name, so here let's say I want to create one more collection called logs. So for that, I'm using this create collection method. So this is one mandatory argument which we need to pass. This we are specifying what will be the collection name. But after this, we can also specify a second optional argument where we can set some options for this collection. So for example, one option is capped. So when we set it to true, that means we are saying that here we want to create a capped collection. Now, what do we mean by capped collection? A capped collection is a fixed size collection that automatically overwrites its oldest entries when it reaches its maximum size. And by default, this capped is always false. But if you set it to true, that means you are creating a capped collection, you are creating a fixed size collection. In that case, you also need to specify what will be the fixed size of this collection, of this capped collection. For that, we use the size property, and here we need to specify what will be the maximum size of this capped collection in bytes. So here, if I say 1024, this 1024 will be the maximum size of this logs collection, which is a capped collection. Here I can also specify what is the maximum number of documents I want to have in this capped collection. So for that I can set max, and here I can say maximum I want to have 100 documents in this collection. So this option you can also set. So in this way, we are creating a capped collection, a fixed size collection using this create collection method. So this second argument, it is optional. Using this argument, you can set some options for this collection. Okay, so I'll simply create this collection. So that collection is created. Now, again, if I run show collections command, now we should see three collections in this book my stay database. Now, let's say I want to query all the documents from the hotels collection. For that, again, on the database, so for that we need to use this db object, which points to the currently selected database. On that, I can access the collection which I want to query. In this case, I want to query the hotels collection, and on that I can use find method. So this find method, it is going to return me all the document from the hotels collection. It is going to query the hotels collection, and it is going to return me documents from that hotels collection. If I press enter, currently in this hotels collection we have a single document, so that has been returned. You can see it here. So this is how we can query a collection. Now we will learn more about querying a collection. We will learn about it in great detail in one of the coming lectures. But for now, just understand that using this find method, you can query a collection. You can query any collection from a database. And finally, let me also show you how you can drop a collection. So for example, let's say I want to drop this logs collection. Before that, let me go ahead and let me run show collections command. So currently we have three collections in this database. Now let's say I want to drop this logs collection. So for that I can say db.collection name, which in this case is logs, because I want to drop this logs collection, and on that I can simply call drop method. And if I press enter, you will see that it has returned true. That means this logs collection has been dropped. And now if I go ahead and if I run show collections command, now you will see that now we have only two collections. So this logs collection has been deleted. So these were some important commands to work with a collection in a MongoDB database. Now, in the coming lectures, we are going to learn how we can query documents from a collection, how we can insert documents in a collection, how we can update documents in a collection, and also how we can delete documents from a collection. So we are going to learn about performing CRUD operation on a collection in great detail in our coming lectures. Now, before I wrap up this lecture, let's have a quick look on the key features which we need to remember about a collection. So as we have learned before, in a collection, the documents are schemaless. Two different documents in the same collection can have different fields and different number of fields. Also, in a collection, when you store a document, if you want to store the related data for that document in the same collection, you can also do that. That we can achieve with the help of embedded documents. So we don't need to have joins between the two collections in order to fetch related data. Also, a collection is created automatically the first time we insert a document into it. So as we saw, if a collection does not exist and inside that if we try to insert a document, first the collection gets created and then inside that collection the document is inserted. And every document in a collection must have a unique underscore ID field value. So no two documents in the same collection can have same underscore ID value. These are the important points which you need to remember about a collection. Alright, so this is all from this lecture. If you have any questions from this lecture, then feel free to ask it. Thank you for listening and have a great day.